Hi guys, welcome back. It's been quite a while, there's been quite a couple of changes that I want to show you. But first, I really want to thank everyone that's been following my videos and subscribed. I hope it's been useful, and you can tell that I'm kind of learning as I go. So it's not perfect, and I'm making some mistakes, but I'm just kind of experimenting to see how it goes. So take this as something to take a look at. You can use this as a how I should say. Ugh. So this is not financial advice, and you should really do your own research. Don't just copy my stocks. Just see what works for you, and do your research and decide which you want to use yourself first before diving in. You can potentially lose a lot of money if they do go bankrupt, or there's just no future return. But it's a risk. It depends. It's a risk or reward thing. Anyway, so looking at my profile, you can see. So I think on the previous video, I was quite low actually. I think I was maybe around 8%, 10% in the red, and that's slowly started to change. See, it's going 9%, 7, 6, 5, 5.4. I'm I feel a bit mixed about this. I do want my profile to go back into the green, but I've been using this as an opportunity to slowly get back into things, to buy as many stocks as I can to average down the ones I have. So I think that opportunity will come quite soon, because it seems like we're heading towards a recession. Things in the US and UK aren't too good. So anyway, I'm going to show you how I've been doing. So far this month I've received £4.10 in dividends, and there's quite a couple more to still come. So I have a couple of REITs that are going to be paying, and some of the stocks. So I'm averaging around £10 a month. I think this month might be a bit over, so we're going to see how that goes. So there's quite a lot of stocks, so I'm pretty diversified, to the largest extent. But a lot of these I am going to sell, and kind of depends. I'm going to see how I feel about them. So 3M is a brilliant dividend payer. It's a solid industry, and it's a necessary one. People need this. I decided to just go all in and get 1.1 shares. So that managed to average down from where I was before, which is not too good, not too bad. AbbVie, great company, and they've just did an acquisition recently of a new pharmaceutical company, so they're making strides themselves. I really want them to get back to 65-ish, or at least below 70. That would be amazing, so I can average down a little bit more. So I don't plan on buying any more stocks in AbbVie until they get below $80, so I can kind of make this figure a bit lower. So I'm happy with 7.1 shares. That's fine by me. And you can see all my stocks have just turned to green recently. And AMD, solid company. They have so many contracts arranged. So with Samsung, I think it's going to be next year. The new S21 is going to launch with an AMD GPU, and they also have the gaming consoles coming, and they also have they're providing a lot of servers to a lot of new industries. So they're branching out and kind of diversifying their company. So I think in the long term they're going to do brilliant. Really not worried about AMD. You can see, so previously they were just jumping. 2015, $2.36 a share. I wish I bought it this time. And then changed to 52. So almost at an all-time high right now. So they're doing fine in this industry, no issue. So I have an average price of £37.81. It's been averaged down a little bit. Airbus, so I don't really have a reason to keep this one. They are doing a little bit better than Boeing at the moment, but in terms of revenue, Boeing is making significantly more than them with a lower demand. Well, with a much higher demand, but they're fulfilling less orders. So Airbus, I'm pretty happy to sell that. I'm just going to wait till it increases a little bit more and then get rid of this. There's no reason to keep Airbus. But it's basically the European version of Boeing, so they create aircraft and like equipment and stuff. Alibaba, so this is going to do a stock split into 8 stocks relatively soon. This company, it's a bit, I'm not sure about them. In the long term, possibly they are going to increase, but I don't know about how competitive they will be. So Amazon, it's pretty expensive, even 0.1 shares. 0.01 shares is £19.10. So I got that for when the average price was £15.97. But it's, I mean, it does increase quite a lot. 2,500 per share. Aston Martin, I made a mistake listening to someone over this. I don't really have any expectations for an Aston Martin. I just kind of, I want to get my 57, 58, how much did I spend? Okay, my 64 pence, I want to get that back. Then it's gone. AT&T, brilliant company, and they just paid me a dividend recently. So now I have 19 shares in AT&T, but it went ex-dividend when I was at 11, so I ended up getting paid about £3.96, so it would have been significantly more if I managed to get this before that. But my average is pretty okay right now, so it's $31.86. See, the average before was like 40-ish. And HBO Max is going to launch next month, and that's going to make quite a lot of changes to the company. They have a lot of free cash flow as well, so they're doing pretty fine. But one of the things with AT&T, I was working it out, and so if they continue to pay a dividend, which I'm expecting they will, I don't see them having any plans to cancel it. And I am a dividends investor, so that matters to me. But if they didn't pay any dividends until 2015, they could eliminate any debt they have. So if they use the money they paid out in dividends to get rid of their debt, they could just be debt free. But yeah, I don't see that happening. So it's going to accumulate interest over time, but I can also see the company growing, so the payout ratio is relatively low at about, I think it's 65, which is still quite low for the company. They have a high amount of debt, but relative to the size of the company, it's not a lot. So they'll be fine. They're going to remain like a solid dividend player, and I can see them approaching becoming a dividend king with 50 years at some point. So Aviva does not pay a dividend right now because of all the restrictions, financial insurance. They pay quite a high amount per share. So when that returns, I think it's about 8%. So that's going to be quite high when it comes back. I might get to around 200 shares. Boeing, so I've seen that they don't need a bailout anymore. They managed to raise 25 billion in free cash, so that's going to help keep them going for at least like 6 more months. So even if they do run out of this raised cash they have, they still have the option of getting a bailout from the government. So I see no reason for this company to go to go bankrupt. I think they're going to do fine. And actually, I think the situation might give them like a kick to like change management, like restructure, make changes. I think they'll be doing fine. And as you can see, I'm on £120 or $148 per share. So when that rebounds, which it will, they have a huge backlog of customers that do need to use the services. Even ones such as 3M, there's so many customers that are waiting for them. And I mean, I'm gonna more than double what I have when that starts going up, which I don't expect anytime soon. I'm a long-term dividend holder, so it might be like 3 to 4, 5, maybe 10 years, but I can see it continually increasing. 10 is probably pushing it not that long, about 2 years maybe, I think. So BP, so they've been making changes to the management. They're investing in renewables a lot more than they did before. Still, I'd say Shell is a better buy, but BP pay a much higher dividend if that's what you're after. And I think it's pretty safe, but at the moment with the oil crisis, it's not great. And Carnival, so this one is still highly volatile and quite risky, but in the long term, it should pay off. So they can survive at least a year, assuming they weren't allowed to operate, which is not actually going to be the case. So I believe they're going to resume operations in, I think it's June, July, or August. It might be August. So they're going to operate in a few locations and start to get things going again. So it's quite a high margin revenue company. So as soon as that gets going again, I can just see this shooting up. And remember, when you look at the stock graph, so things might not be good at the moment, and you're confused why the stock increases. Keep in mind that the market value of stocks is not based on the current amount it's valued at. It's based on like forward-looking what the market will become. So if there's any positive news, that's just going to make stocks shoot up because they expect changes and stuff. So you can see I have my key investments. Like a lot of these, I've got like £2 in here and there, and then like £50 max on some of them. But I have my key investments, like Coca-Cola is a solid company. They pay dividends. They're like, I think it's a dividend king, but I need to check, with like 50 years of consecutive dividend increases. And I can see that rebounding back to 60. So I have it at $53 a share, or £41. ExxonMobil, so it's a great time to pick up oil stocks because they will return back. So I got this at $45 per share, £36. And let's see, Hormel Foods, like they've just been growing consistently, even during this time. Quite volatile, but I mean, they're still growing like pretty fine, so it's good. Johnson & Johnson, I wish I could have got more shares in this, but I have one. So I did purchase it when it wasn't in the red, which is not ideal for me. I prefer for it to be in the red before I increase my investments so I can lower it. But my average is not too bad. It's £143. Eventually, I'm in no rush to invest in Lloyd's, but I'll probably get to around 2,000 shares by the time they begin paying dividends again, so when things are okay. So I have no rush for this. And my average is 46 pence per share. So I can average that down quite a lot. McDonald's, 1.05 shares, and Microsoft have been killing it. Look at this. This is crazy. That is So 137. My average price is 163. Look at my return, 17%. So I've got £110 in the plus, and I can see Microsoft just like they have so many ways they can go up forward from here. I think they're investing, I think 1.5 billion in Poland and 1.5 billion is another country too. I think they've also just made a new acquisition. I need to double check what that was, but they've benefited from this, like this situation with the virus, and Microsoft 365 work from home, that's been doing great. Let's see. So Nordic American Tankers, I got in a pretty bad moment. $8.23. So they're making a huge amount of money. I think it's increased from about $110,000 per day. So previously, before the oil tankers were not filled, it used to be like 15,000 a day in profit. So it's a huge change. And like I mentioned, it doesn't reflect on the price. So only because the markets are forward looking, it's when they base the value of the stock on what they expect it to be in the future. So they think there might be some negotiations to like sort the oil crisis with Saudis and China. Saudis and Russia, sorry. Yeah, so Shell, I want to increase my investments in this. I'd say this is significantly better than BP. So they're well managed. They know the direction that things are going. They're investing in renewables. I want to say that I also made a huge mistake. I invested in RDSA previously when I first started, and I knew there were two, RDSB and RDSA. So RDSA, this is the one that's traded in the Netherlands on the Dutch Foreign Exchange. If you're there, you will pay a 15% tax, which you don't want to be doing. If you're British, you should invest in the RDSB. You don't pay that 15% tax on dividends, and it's actually a little bit cheaper too. The only difference is if it did go bankrupt, which I have no expectation of that happening, the first dibs go to RDSA. So my average is so £12.79. And let's see. Yeah, Disney, they stopped paying their dividends to reserve capital, which is fine by me, but in the long term, they're going to do great. Yes, so anyway, that was a look at my portfolio, my newest update. So I know it's been quite a while, but thank you guys for sticking with me and seeing how things go. I hope you're all staying safe. So, locked up at the moment, things are going to improve, but let's see how it goes. If you can, take advantage of the situation, see what you can do, and things are going to be better tomorrow. So good luck, guys. If you have any questions, just put them in the comments, or if you were interested in the video, please subscribe. I'm going to try and diversify my videos somewhat in the future. So thank you. And also there is a free share referral for trading 212 and Freetrade, but you'll need to send me a message for Freetrade via Instagram, and I'll send you the referral link from there. So thank you guys. Great. See you next time.